Hello and welcome to TDN African Media. I am Mohamed Konneh. Presently, we are at the Media One Center to interview Mr. Mohamed Konneh, who is the acting station manager for Star Radio, with regards to the sudden death of the late Mr. Philip Neville. He has worked with Mr. Neville for over a decade now, so he has a lot to say about the late. Hello and welcome to TDN African Media.
Thank you. My name is Mohamed Konneh, acting station manager for Star Radio.
Okay. Mr. Mohamed Konneh, we have learned that you have worked with Mr. Philip Neville for over a decade now. So, what's the experience?
This is my 19th year working for Standard Times newspaper. I started as a core reporter at Standard Times, and I raised up to the position of news editor. But currently, I'm the acting station manager for Star Radio. The Media One Center comprises Star Radio, Star Television, Standard Times, and that of the printing press. This is an empire Philip Neville has built over the years. Over 20 to 30 years, he has been able to build this empire. So basically, I've worked with Philip Neville for the last 18 to 19 years. As I started as a cub reporter, whereby I was assigned to report on courts and then various other bits. But working with Philip Neville over the years has taught me a huge amount of lessons, but also developed my skills. When it comes to investigation, Standard Times and Philip Neville is one area that you can call on. When it comes to political news, Standard Times and Philip Neville is one place you can call on. When it comes to also development stories, Standard Times and Philip Neville is one place you can call on. And so I have listened to a number of tributes since the death of Philip Neville. And one of the things that I enjoy so most also has to do with somebody described him as the Robin Hood of modern times. What does that mean? We know in the story of Robin Hood was taken from the rich and given to the poor. And that's exactly what Philip has been doing. Sometimes we call him a small minister. Small minister in the sense that he gives a lot of alms to people, especially poor people. That's why you see a lot of people around him. And in terms of journalism, you hardly find somebody that is able to write, that is able to investigate stories, that is able to investigate political issues, that is somebody. When it comes to descriptive writing, Philip Neville is a masterclass. When it comes to creating headlines on newspaper, that's why most times if you see Standard Times, when you see those screamer headlines, it's the work of Philip Neville. And that is one thing we'll continue to remember him for, because he was one person that is good in descriptive writing. He was one person that is able to craft screamer headlines. The sooner you see the headline, the newspaper attracts you soonest. So that is the kind of person. But again, Philip Neville is a human being. Yes, he made his own mistake while practicing journalism, like any other human being. And so for a number of other, I know people talk a whole lot about him, but I would say he's a new human. He made his own mistake, but let's look at the good parts, what he did. Philip Neville, during his days, he challenged the rebels in this country because he had wanted this country to return to democratic state. He had wanted this country to return to a peaceful democratic society, and that was the more reason why he challenged the rebels. He also challenged the AFRC, headed by Johnny Paul Comer at that time. When they took over in 1996, he was able to stand them and write critical issues about them, that they are not fit to rule this country because they are here just to take the wealth of this country. So he was that kind of man. Yes, the rebels on a number of occasions, soldiers on a number of occasions tried to kill him. I remember some time back when rebels invaded Freetown, they went to the offices of Standard Times. At that time, Standard Times was at Liverpool Street. They killed the editor and family, Paul Mansari. He was brutally murdered together with his family. Philip Neville escaped narrowly. So that's the kind of person we are talking about here. Today, he's gone. But he left behind huge success. He left behind this Media One Center that is comprising Star TV, Star Television, Standard Times, and a printing press. That's the kind of person we've missed, and we'll continue to. Let me start with Philip Neville's date of birth. Philip Neville was born on 25th November 1962. He went to the Peninsula Primary and Secondary School and later proceeded to the Putloko Teachers College, where he attained a HTC. From that point in the 80s, he started practicing journalism. Later, he went to Fobe College, but at that time, there was no mass communication department at Fobe College. So he did the ordinary Bachelor's of Arts degree, and he started his journalism career from that point. He started working for the Weekend Spark that was owned by Roland Martin way back in the 80s. After some time, he decided to set up the Standard Times newspaper, and that was in 1994. He decided to set up the Standard Times newspaper. So the Standard Times newspaper started in 1994 in a single room at Battle Street. Later, the paper moved to Liverpool Street, and onward, fast forward, the paper moved down to Kington Bridge. In 2007, Star Radio was also born from out of what Standard Times was getting. So Philip Neville established the Star Radio. In 2014, Star TV was also established. At that time, we had now moved to our current location, which is number 3 Mama Street, the Media One Center. So after constructing this building, the newspaper, the printing press, Star Radio, and Star Television all came to this one-stop building. So all of those institutions mentioned that he created and built are now housed at Media One. So Philip Neville has come a long way this journey in building a media empire. And as we speak, we have over 60 people that are gainfully employed here, including the television station, the radio station, the newspaper, and that of the printing press. But apart from those, you have also other external forces. I'll call them external forces because you have a number of other people that do business with Media One. For example, people that are supplying us fuel, people that are selling newspaper. These are I call them, they are all auxiliary staff because they come and take the paper, they go and sell. They are not directly employed here, but they are having some form of employment because they are selling our papers, because they come here and take our papers. And you have a number of other people that are doing business with Philip Neville. So you have hundreds of people that are benefiting from this institution. So this is how Philip Neville has come a long way in building this institution that we today call the Media One Center. So basically, that's how far Philip Neville has come. But as God may have it, his maker called on him on the 28th of December 2022 to go beyond. And today, we've lost a man who spent his resources, his hard-earned resources to build this media empire. We've lost him, but we cannot question God because, as the Bible says, He gives and He takes.
Yeah, exactly. And you mentioned about empire. Philip Neville built an empire. So without him, how the empire can operate?
Philip Neville left behind a team. And it's not just leaving behind a team. He trained us. We are trained. A good number of us, we are trained, and we are still here. And even after his death, you see us continue to publish the newspapers. The radio station is still on. The television station is still on. That shows that we are ready to take up the legacy that Philip left behind. We have a team here, a dedicated team that is ready and willing, and with the help of the family and with the help of other friends, we'll still continue to uphold what Philip Neville has left behind. And that is why all of us are still here. Even after his death, we came together. I mean, nobody left. We are still here. For now, we are not even thinking about salary. What we are thinking about is how to give a befitting burial to the late Philip Neville, who is the director of Media One Center. So basically, there is a team here that is ready to take up this challenge in moving what Philip Neville has left behind.
Thank you very much.